This is Osman Hussein, an Ethiopian-born British citizen, one of the suspects of the 21st July 2005 London transport bombings. On the 21st of July 2005, Mr. Hussein was caught on cameras fleeing the scene of the crime. He got on a train and fled Britain. A European arrest warrant was issued by the police commissioner in London and sent to Brussels, where it was then sent on to capital cities around Europe. He was caught 8 days later in Rome by the Italian police and extradited to London. On the 9th of July 2007, Hussein was found guilty of conspiracy to murder in Woolwich Crown Court. The European Union allows us not only to travel between all major member states, but also allows us to gain employment in other member states without work permits or visas. Over 1 million Irish-born citizens live abroad. The EU polices over 7,700 miles of land, sea and air surrounding the European Union against illegal immigration, drug trafficking and cross-border crime. How did this situation come about? In March 1957, the Treaty of Rome was signed. This treaty created the European Economic Community, the EEC, and provided for the free movement of European workers. Ireland joined the EEC in 1973. In June 1985, some member states signed the Schengen Agreement, which provided for the gradual abolition of checks at the common internal borders of mainland Europe. Ireland has an opt-out and is not in Schengen because of the common travel area, the passport-free zone between Ireland and the UK. The Single European Act, signed in February 1986, provided for the free movement of persons inside the European Community as part of the progressive establishment of the internal market. In 1992, the Maastricht Treaty established the three pillars of the European Union. Within each pillar, a different balance is struck between supranational decision-making and intergovernmental decision-making. Supranational decisions are taken in the first pillar, which deals with issues such as the single market, the common agricultural policy, the customs union, and competition. This means that the Commission proposes a measure, and the Council of Justice Ministers decides on it after consulting with the European Parliament. The Commission and the Parliament play a strong role. The Council takes decisions by a system known as Qualified Majority Voting, or QMV. In the second pillar, decisions are made on the Common Foreign and Security Policy, which deals with areas such as defence policy, human rights, and development aid. The Council of Foreign Ministers is the primary actor here and operates on the basis of unanimity. In other words, each country has a veto. The European Parliament plays little role in this area, so decision-making here is intergovernmental. Justice and Home Affairs originally operated under what was called the third pillar of the European Community. Over the years, the range of issues covered by Justice and Home Affairs has grown to include cross-border crimes such as drug trafficking, terrorism, money laundering, human trafficking, organized crime, and corruption, as well as issues such as immigration, visas, and asylum policy. It was initially intergovernmental, like the second pillar. The Amsterdam Treaty, in 1997, moved illegal immigration, visas, border controls, and judicial cooperation in civil matters into the first pillar, which resulted in supranational decision-making. Other areas, such as police and judicial cooperation in criminal matters, remains in the third pillar, where each state has a veto over decision-making. Within the intergovernmental areas of Justice and Home Affairs, Ireland was represented by Minister for Justice Dermot Ahern. Within the supranational areas of Justice and Home Affairs, the relevant commissioner is Jacques Barrot. There are also a series of agencies set up by the European Union which operate in this area. Europol is an organization which helps police to cooperate against organized crime through information exchange, support, and other vital tools. OLAF provides cooperation in relation to anti-fraud, corruption, and crimes against the finances of the European Union. Eurojust is a body which helps improve the coordination of investigations and prosecutions between competent authorities, such as the judiciary and prosecutors of the member states. Frontex is a border management agency which helps to coordinate the policing of the European Union's external borders. Ireland and the UK are not members of Frontex because of the opt-out to the Schengen Agreement. They are, however, invited to attend all meetings and to offer expertise on a case-by-case basis. CEPOL is a European Police Training College. Even before 9/11, it was becoming clear that these mechanisms were not sufficient to deal with the problems the European Union was facing. the decision-making process was inadequate when dealing with the problems posed by international terrorism. Furthermore, economic openness from previous integration was not being met with a similar increase in police cooperation. Criminals took advantage of this gap. The Lisbon Treaty was a response to these challenges. It proposed to abolish the third pillar and integrate it into the first pillar. In most areas, the Council under Lisbon could take decisions through qualified majority voting, and the Parliament would be allowed to co-legislate. However, some areas, including aspects of criminal law, still remain under veto. Ireland and the UK have special opt-out, opt-in arrangements within Justice and Home Affairs. Already, we do not participate in the Schengen area for the free movement of people, external border controls, or visa policy. Second, the common law system in Ireland and the UK is significantly different to the civil law system in the rest of Europe. If Ireland chose not to opt out and was involved without the UK, it would be acting alone to shape proposals to take account of the Irish legal tradition and influence legal practice. Under the opt-out, opt-in system, both the UK and Ireland can now opt into these future measures on a case-by-case basis. Ireland has declared that it intends to opt in to as many measures as it can, particularly with regard to police cooperation, and it intends to review the opt-out within 3 years. This area still contains many challenges that the European Union will have to face. The challenges of international terrorism, human trafficking, and illegal immigration are the most pressing.